There are video games, and then there are worlds. And for more than 20 years, Grand Theft Auto has let us steal cars, fly fighter jets, race motorcycles, rob banks, start businesses, and create absolute chaos. But somewhere along the way, something happened that I don't even think Rockstar predicted. People stopped playing Grand Theft Auto, and they started living in it. For millions of players, GTA wasn't just another game sitting on a shelf. It became the place where friendships were made, rivalries lasted for years, communities were built, and personalities that existed in real world found a second home inside Los Santos. For many of us, our online identity became just as recognizable as who we were outside the game. Then came one of the biggest turning points in gaming history. A group of incredibly talented developers looked at Rockstar's world and asked, what if we could make it even bigger? That idea became FiveM. And for years, developers, server owners, artists, vehicle creators, map designers, and some of the most creative people in gaming pushed Grand Theft Auto far beyond what anyone thought was possible. They transformed a crime sandbox into police departments, fire academies, military units, racing leagues, businesses, television networks, and entire living cities filled with thousands of unique stories every single day. It wasn't Rockstar that built all of that. The community did. And now, after years of watching that creativity evolve, Rockstar and CFX are finally working together. We still know almost nothing about what GTA 6 Online is going to look like. No official gameplay, no deep dive, very few answers. It may not even exist. Yet somehow, it's one of the most anticipated games in the entire industry, right alongside GTA 6 itself. So today I want to take a trip through Los Santos, talk about where we came from, where we are today, and where I think Rockstar is taking us next. I'm Clean Sanchez, and if you love Grand Theft Auto, gaming history, and talking about where this franchise is headed, make sure you subscribe because we've got a lot to cover. Let's get into it. When people talk about GTA Online, almost everyone starts with GTA 5. But for me, it starts with Liberty City, specifically GTA 4. And to this day, GTA 4's multiplayer is still my favorite online experience in the franchise. Maybe that's because I'm from New Jersey, and Alderney always felt like a little like home. And driving through those industrial streets, crossing the bridges into Algonquin, and exploring a city inspired by the place I grew up made everything feel a little more personal. But what really made GTA 4 special wasn't the map, it was the people. Back then, we weren't known by our usernames. We were known by the color above our heads. One day you were pink, the next day you were baby green, maybe orange, maybe purple. Nobody cared what your gamer tag was. Yo, green's at the airport. Pink's got the helicopter. Blue's trying to steal the Annihilator. That was enough. And if you played GTA 4 back then, you already knew exactly where everyone ended up. The airport. The runway was our battlefield. Dogfights in helicopters, drive-bys across the tarmac, rocket launchers flying everywhere, random alliances forming out of nowhere. Hours would disappear before you even realized it. And looking back now, we didn't realize we were witnessing the beginning of something much bigger. Because when GTA 5 launched, everything changed. Rockstar would release GTA Online just a short time later, and the gaming industry would never really be the same. Now, I could spend the next hour talking about the launch of GTA Online, the apartment updates, the heists, the bikers, the Cayo Perico, the Diamond Casino, the mansions, the countless updates that transformed Los Santos over the last decade. But honestly, hundreds of creators have already documented that story incredibly well. So instead, I want to focus on something we haven't really been talking about: the future. Because as excited as everyone is for GTA 6, we've heard almost nothing about GTA 6 Online, and that silence is interesting. There are already rumors suggesting Rockstar could release GTA 6 Online as a separate product instead of simply including it with the base game. Personally, I think there's a real possibility. Rockstar already split GTA Online away from GTA 5 years ago, and they've shown they're comfortable treating online as its own platform rather than just another game mode. Considering GTA Online has become one of the most profitable entertainment products ever created, it wouldn't surprise me if GTA 6 Online eventually becomes its own standalone experience. If I had to make a completely uneducated guess, I could see Rockstar offering it separately or bundling early access with something like an Ultimate Edition before eventually selling it on its own. Maybe it's a $40 standalone purchase. Maybe it's included for everyone. Maybe it's something completely different. At the end of the day, nobody knows. This is all speculation, but the fact that Rockstar has remained almost completely silent about online tells me they're planning something much bigger than simply dropping us into another lobby. And that's where things start to get really interesting. If GTA Online proved that players wanted to create their own stories, then FiveM just showed how far those stories could actually go. FiveM began development in the mid-2010s as a multiplayer modification for Grand Theft Auto 5, and at the time, Rockstar's online experience was mostly limited to public lobbies and official game modes, but a small group of developers believed the game could become something much bigger than that. The road to get there wasn't easy. In its early years, the project faced legal pressure and uncertainty from Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactive over multiplayer modifications and reverse engineering. And for a while, nobody really knew if FiveM would survive. But despite all of that, the community kept pushing forward. Developers continued coding, artists kept creating, and server owners kept investing their time and money into something they believed in. Thousands of people poured countless hours into the project because they saw the potential for Grand Theft Auto to become more than just a game. They saw it becoming a platform. And now, while researching this video, I came across an archived community document called The Fall of FiveM. And whether you agree with every claim in that document or not, and many of them are still debated, there is one idea that really stood out to me. It described the philosophy that helped FiveM grow into what it is today. By the community, for the community, with the community. That mindset explains so much about why FiveM exploded in popularity, and developers weren't just building servers for themselves. They were sharing knowledge, sharing code, teaching each other, and creating tools that others could build on. Every breakthrough made the next one easier, and instead of asking, how can I build the biggest server, people were asking, how can we make Grand Theft Auto better for everyone? And looking back now, I think that's exactly what happened. FiveM stopped being just a multiplayer modification and turned into a full creative platform. Today, you can jump into almost any experience you can imagine. Millions of hours of work have gone into custom vehicles, maps, interiors, CAD systems, dispatch software, economies, jobs, animations, businesses, housing systems, and thousands upon thousands of scripts. And the craziest part is that none of that was built by Rockstar. It was built by the community. Then, in August of 2023, something happened that almost nobody expected. Rockstar didn't shut FiveM down, they bought it. Rockstar officially acquired CFX, the team behind FiveM and RedM, and announced that they wanted to support and invest in the roleplay community moving forward. And when you really think about that, it's kind of insane, right? A project that once existed in legal uncertainty had become so influential that Rockstar themselves decided to bring its creators into the company itself. To me, it felt like Rockstar acknowledging something players had known for years. FiveM wasn't competing with Grand Theft Auto, it was showing Rockstar what Grand Theft Auto could become. Now, I didn't jump into FiveM until 2020, and my first city was City Life RP, and watching that community grow into one of the biggest and longest running roleplay servers has been incredible, especially considering it's one of the few servers from that era that's still standing today, and that alone says a lot. After City Life, I started exploring everything FiveM had to offer, and I spent time helping develop communities like Diamond Rock RP, Down and Dirty RP, and more recently, I've even been fortunate enough to lend a little help to the upcoming Cyber Knights RP, which is about to go into beta. So if anyone asks me whether I enjoy FiveM, the answer is simple. Absolutely. Without question. There really is something for everyone, whether you want to live an ordinary life with a job and a family, dive into hardcore police roleplay, drift all night with your friends, or even take part in military simulations. There's a server out there for you. FiveM has become one of the most diverse multiplayer platforms I've ever experienced. But after spending years inside these communities, I started noticing one issue that kept coming up over and over again. Consistency, or more accurately, the lack of it. I've seen incredible servers blow up overnight only to disappear a few months later. Sometimes leadership became greedy, sometimes developers burned out, and sometimes the server just became too expensive to keep running. And other times, updates were rushed without proper testing. Inventories were wiped, vehicles disappeared, and players lost hundreds of hours of progress. Police departments would recruit dozens of officers only for half of them to stop showing up after the first week. Communities would spend months building amazing stories only for everything to come to a halt because the server was offline for days, fixing another issue. Hackers would find exploits, staff teams would fall apart, drama would spread throughout Discord, and slowly but surely another promising community would fade away. I've watched this happen more times than I can count, and it's not just the FiveM problem. Reddit has struggled with many of the same growing pains. Then there's what I believe is the biggest challenge FiveM still faces: the players themselves. Too many people join these servers with a GTA Online mindset. They're not coming in to tell a story, they're coming in to win. They want the fastest cars, the biggest house, the most expensive clothes, the rarest gun, or the biggest operation they can build as quickly as possible. But that completely misses the point of roleplay, doesn't it? Roleplay isn't about winning. It's about collaborative storytelling, and you're not supposed to just play yourself with a different outfit. You're creating a character with flaws, goals, failures, relationships, a beginning, and eventually an ending. It's like starring in your own television series. Some of the best role players I've met completely disappear into their characters, and when you're interacting with them, you're not talking to the player anymore. You're talking to the sheriff, the mechanic, the mayor, the gang leader, or the taxi driver. And those are the moments that make FiveM unforgettable. But unfortunately, those experiences are becoming hard to define because so many players never fully commit to the role they're trying to play. And that's why I was genuinely excited when Rockstar acquired CFX. Not because I think it's going to magically fix everything overnight, but because for the first time it felt like FiveM actually had the chance to build on a stronger foundation with better tools, better infrastructure, and more long-term stability for both developers and players. The future is still being built, and there are definitely challenges ahead, but for the first time in a long time, it feels like Rockstar and the community are finally working toward the future together. And if there's one server that proved just how powerful that could be, it was NoPixel. If FiveM proved that roleplay could work, NoPixel proved that people wanted to watch it. Before NoPixel exploded, GTA roleplay was still considered pretty niche. There were incredible communities out there, but unless you were already involved in FiveM, you probably had no idea they even existed. Then Twitch happened. Millions of viewers suddenly discovered that Grand Theft Auto wasn't just about stealing cars anymore. It was about telling stories. Creators like XQC, Buddha, Sukuno, Summit G, Pokimane, Valkyrie, Lyric, Kyle, and dozens of others introduced millions of people to roleplay through NoPixel. They weren't just playing Grand Theft Auto, they were creating live television every single day. Some stories lasted a few hours, others lasted months. But some characters became more recognizable than the people playing them. And for many viewers, NoPixel became their first introduction to roleplay. And for FiveM as a whole, it was one of the biggest moments in its history. Whether you loved the server or hated it, there's no denying its impact. It showed the entire gaming industry that people could spend thousands of hours watching collaborative storytelling unfold inside a video game, and I think Rockstar noticed that. And I don't think that's a coincidence. So when Rockstar acquired CFX in 23, they weren't just buying some multiplayer modification. They were investing nearly a decade of innovation, years of custom development, years of experimentation, years of lessons learned from thousands of servers, and then something interesting started happening. People began talking about something called Rome, the Rockstar Online modding engine. Now, this is where I want to be careful because Rockstar hasn't officially shown us what Rome actually is. And most of what the community knows comes from reports, trusted community members, and discussions that followed the acquisition of CFX, along with documents like the fall of FiveM. None of it should be treated as confirmed until Rockstar decides to reveal it publicly. But if those reports are accurate, Rome could become Rockstar's official foundation for user-generated content. Instead of relying on community-built multiplayer frameworks, Rockstar could provide official tools for creators to build roleplay experiences, custom game modes, racing leagues, military simulations, businesses, economies, and entirely new worlds. If that's what Rome becomes, it could be one of the biggest changes in Grand Theft Auto's history. We've already started seeing hints of that future. And Rockstar has publicly partnered with NoPixel on NoPixel 5, describing it as the next evolution of GTA roleplay and announcing that it will launch in collaboration with Rockstar Games. And that's something that I never thought I'd be talking about, especially after all the legal battles from years ago. We're also seeing Rockstar draw a much more clearer line around multiplayer modding. And just recently, Rage MP, the other major GTA platform, announced it would shut down after receiving a cease and desist from Take-Two. Server owners have been encouraged to migrate to FiveM because FiveM is now Rockstar's officially supported platform for GTA multiplayer modifications. And to me, that says something. Rockstar doesn't appear interested in supporting 10 different multiplayer frameworks anymore. They appear to be building one official ecosystem, and that is exciting. I've spent years bouncing around FiveM communities. I've watched amazing servers rise and disappear just as quickly. And if Rockstar can provide a better infrastructure, more stable tools, and official support, and still preserve the creativity that made FiveM special, that could be the best thing that's ever happened to roleplay. But my only concern is accessibility. One thing I've noticed over the years is that roleplay has slowly become more expensive. Priority queues, monthly subscriptions, paid applications, donations for faster access, VIP memberships. And I completely understand that servers cost money to run, and I don't fault owners for trying to cover those costs. But I do worry that the barrier to entry keeps getting higher. If NoPixel 5 or whatever Rockstar is building next becomes another experience that's locked behind expensive memberships or exclusive access, I think that would be a missed opportunity. But I'd love the chance to experience it. Not because I want to be the richest criminal in the city, not because I want the fastest car. I love storytelling. That's what roleplay has always been to me. It's collaborative filmmaking, improvisation, world building, thousands of people creating one giant living television series together. And if Rockstar can preserve that spirit while giving creators better tools, I think GTA 6 Online could become something we've never seen before. Now, this brings me to the biggest question I have after everything Rockstar has done over the last few years. Is this the next evolution of GTA Online? I honestly don't know. None of us do. And I think it's important to say that. Everything I'm about to talk about comes from my own hopes, not insider information. I don't have leaks. I don't know anyone at Rockstar. And I don't want to pretend I do. I just have a feeling. And feelings aren't evidence, they're simply where curiosity begins. When Rockstar purchased CFX, I couldn't stop thinking about what that might actually mean. Not just for PC players, but for everyone. Could console players finally experience something closer to what we've watched the FiveM community build over the last decade? Because if you've never played them, it's hard to explain just how different it feels. You don't log in wondering what mission you're going to grind or how much money you're going to make that night. You log in wondering what kind of day your character is going to have. Maybe you wake up, grab breakfast from a local diner, head over to your job, and halfway through your shift, you're suddenly responding to a major accident that changes everything. Maybe you're delivering cargo across the state when a highway closure forces you onto back roads you've never driven before. Maybe you spend hours trying to save money enough to finally open the little business you've been dreaming about since your character first moved into the city. And these moments aren't exciting because they're scripted. They're exciting because another person created them for you. And that's what makes RP different. The world doesn't revolve around you. You're just one person living inside of it. And that's what I hope Rockstar has been paying attention to. Not necessarily the custom cars, the graphics, or even the thousands of scripts, but the feeling. The feeling that this city continues to live even after you've logged off. I don't expect Rockstar to recreate everything FiveM has built over the last decade, and honestly, I don't think that's realistic. But if they can capture even a large part of what makes those communities special, walking into a restaurant because you're actually hungry, stopping at a movie theater with friends after work, buying a home that feels like yours instead of another icon on the map, or taking a job simply because it sounds fun instead of because it pays the most. That would completely change the way people experience Grand Theft Auto, and it wouldn't just be another online game. It would feel like a place. And maybe that's what Rockstar has been chasing this entire time. And if that's the direction they're headed, I think we're about to experience something far bigger than GTA Online ever was. So earlier in this video, I asked whether GTA 6 Online could become something bigger than what we've experienced before. And after looking back at everything that got us here, I think it already has. Not because of Rockstar, not because of FiveM or NoPixel, but because of you and because of me, because of all of us. For almost 20 years, people have been taking these worlds and turning them into something Rockstar never could have built on their own. We've created friendships that lasted longer than some games. We've watched communities rise, disappear, and start all over again. We've laughed at complete strangers, argued with people we'll probably never meet, and somehow walked away with the memories that still make us smile years later. And that's why I'm excited for GTA 6 Online. It's not because I'm expecting Rockstar to reinvent the wheel. It's because I want to see what happens when millions of creative people get their hands on a brand new world. Will it be better than GTA Online? I honestly don't know. Will roleplay become part of the experience for everyone? Maybe. Will console players finally get the experience of what FiveM has been building for the last decade? I sure hope so, but none of us know yet, and that's okay. Sometimes the fun is wondering where we're headed next. And whatever Rockstar has planned, I just hope they remember what made this community so special in the first place. It wasn't shark cards, it wasn't flying motorcycles, it wasn't who had the most money or the fastest car. It was the people, the communities, the creators who spent years building something because they loved doing it. And if GTA 6 Online can capture even a piece of that spirit, I think we're all in for something pretty special. But until then, all we can do is wait and speculate. Keep the conversation going and see what Rockstar has been cooking up. I'm genuinely curious what you think. Do you want GTA 6 Online to stay close to what we've always known, or would you rather see Rockstar take ideas from FiveM and build something completely different? Let me know in the comments. I've been looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts on this one. Thanks for watching.